Ooh, this is so exciting. So, welcome to our team call. I can't believe it. It's Christmas week. It's the last full week of the year, which is crazy to say. I almost thought this was the last Monday, and then I just realized that it's not the last Monday because we still have December 30th will be the last Monday of the year. But I'm still thinking of this as like kind of like the last week, and I have heard a lot of what you guys have been asking for and saying the last couple of weeks of things that you've been struggling with, things that you want to improve on going into 2020. So I'm excited about this topic. It's honestly like so funny that you guys talked about this because this is actually something that I started initiating at this year, and I've noticed a huge difference in just my overall confidence with my I want to say with my monthly marketing plan, with my monthly flow. Okay, because that's kind of how I truly think of this. Is I think of this as just like the flow of my business, right? With posting, with running your groups, with knowing what you're inviting to. So my hope is to help give you guys the information and the tools that helped me to kind of, get into this rhythm, this habit of creating a monthly marketing plan, of looking at things for in the long term. We already kind of did this a little bit. If you remember, I asked you to plan out your programs for like the next 6 months. That's exactly the mindset of which this is all centered around, is thinking ahead, thinking of what's coming, thinking of, you know, potential obstacles, launches, programs coming, trips you're going to be taking, times of year, things that pertain to you specifically, but then just in general, things that pertain to our business. So let me share my screen. And all right, can you guys see this? Okay, all right. I'm gonna make it bigger. All right, so developing a marketing plan. And this is all really honestly about you becoming the boss of your own business, right? Basically, the theme of our team calls the last couple of months are trying to get you guys into this CEO mindset that this is your business, your baby, right? You are the one that's in complete control. And there's such a power to that, okay? And I know it's super scary. Like, none of us come into this. I think this is the shift, right? This is the hardest shift because we come into this leading mostly with fitness, right? With our own personal journey. We don't see ourselves as business owners. We don't see ourselves as a CEO. And I can tell you, like, this was one of the hardest mindset shifts for me to make. Being a nurse, being in healthcare, I just have never in my life thought that I would be the boss of anything. I never thought I would be an entrepreneur, so to speak. So to put myself in this, to adopt this confidence level, right? This, it really does come down to you walking the walk and talking the talk, right? Of you being a leader. Okay. So that's really all it is. When you think CEO, just think leader of your own life, leader of your future, leader of your goals. And and it's not necessarily like if you watch the National Wake Up Call today, she said it perfectly. Like, it's the best leaders, the best coaches, the top people in this company. It's not that they don't have fear, right? It's just that they learn that fear is a part of walking the walk. It's part of the dance, right? You feel the fear, you do it anyway. Fear is the sign that you're actually doing the right thing. You get to a comfortability level, and then you face that fear, you get to this comfortability level, and that's when you need to go face the next fear. And that's exactly part of this rhythm that we're going to talk about, right? With your business, is that you have to start to reflect and recognize when you're getting stagnant, getting comfortable, and always be in this forward action process. Okay, so Melanie Mitro is actually who is the queen of this. This is actually, from her presentation at New Leadership in 2018. So 2019, last year, I went to New Leadership Conference. The year before that, Melanie Mitro flew out to LA, gave this presentation on her marketing plan, right? So she, if you guys don't know that, Melanie is like our great grandma coach. She was the top coach in the company for 4 years in a row. She's been a coach for like 8 years now. She's now coming out with, she started another company. She's coming out with a new planner that I'm super excited about, all tailored around marketing and strategy. And the thing that she says is basically failing to plan is planning to fail, right? And it's not that I want you guys to get into this mindset where, you feel like every single thing needs to be tailored to a T, right? Or, figured out to a T. I feel like that's another area, another way that people can paralyze themselves. But having a structure, having a game plan, an overall arching game plan is so helpful, right? Having the goals outlined, having the skeleton there allows you and gives you that wiggle room to, allow you to change the plan along the way, but you need to have a plan. So, like I said, the plan is a roadmap. Think of it like the structure of a house, okay? And you need to have the roadmap. You need to have the instructions, right? Or the manual of where you're headed, right? What's the outcome? Okay. So you want to think for 2020, what do you want to accomplish, right? Thinking where do you want to end the year? Okay. That's a great first question to ask is where do you want to end the year? What are some of the goals you want to achieve? If you want to hit elite and you want to walk across the stage at Summit as a diamond coach, star diamond coach, 2-star, 5-star, whatever, then you have to tailor your goals to your target. Okay. So to hit your target, you have to basically break it down. Okay. So if you are someone that wants to focus on recruiting, you want to really build a team, you could say, give yourself a number of how many, I would think of it like how many coaches you want to hit emerald, how many coaches you want to advance, to diamond. Basically making it start with you in your business, whether you want to hit this certain rank or not. You want to go on earn the Success Club trip, so you need to hit Success Club every month. You want to earn your ticket to Summit, so you need to hit Success Starter. All of these things. Whatever your goals are, that's what's going to help you develop this roadmap, okay? As well as the programs that you want to do. Knowing that you want to run an ongoing monthly boot camp, all of those things. So I want you guys to ask yourself, what is the outcome you're hoping to achieve? Okay. So I know for me, I'll give you an example. For me, last year, I knew that I wanted to end the year at, for 2019, I had a goal of hitting elite. All right. So I put on my vision board that I wanted to be a 10-star diamond coach by the end of 2019. I wanted to hit elite. So I went into the year knowing that if I wanted to hit elite, then that meant that I needed to advance at least, 1 to 2 diamonds a quarter, right? So that meant, break that down. So if I wanted to hit, advance 1 to 2 diamonds, well, that also meant that I would need to be recruiting. So that means that I would need to be, talking about coaching more. That means I need to be running sneak peeks. That means that I needed to be running push to emerald calls. I needed to be, it all, you see what I'm saying? It all breaks down into these small, goals. And if I wanted to, have a higher chance of advancing or, having working coaches, then I needed to bring on more people every month. So upping my Success Club goal to, 10 plus a month, you know, being elite. I'm in control of my business center. So getting my, my mom or my spouse or, now my second business center, advancing that to diamond by a certain time. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. Like, this is what you need to do. The mindset I want you to get thinking about 2020. What's the outcome you are hoping to achieve? Okay. So, and then we're going to start working on breaking that down. And this is something, the best thing, like, this doesn't have to be perfect, right? The perfect time to start asking yourself these questions and writing this down, brainstorming it is right now, right? Writing it out, messy, mapping it out, and helping you really get clear on what it is you want to achieve. And then how can you make that tangible from month to month, week to week, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is what I did, right? This is what I do. I actually did this, when I was, creating my plan for what I want my programs to be. This is what I'm going to be doing over the next week is I'm going to be looking at 2020 as a whole, okay? And from month to month, I'm going to, start blocking out big things that are happening, right? So I know in January, we are going to be launching, Bar Blend, right? I know I'm going to be starting Bar Blend in January. I know in March, we have the Success Club trip. I know in June, we are going to be, July, we have Summit. If I knew when our retreat was going to be, I would put in our retreat. I know that we're going to be running a push group in February. I'm going to be running a diamond push group in February. So I map that out, block that out, block, I can't talk. I would block that out. And then so on and so forth, right? So you can put in holidays. You can put in, if you have a trip coming up or, say you're a mom or you've got kids or something, you can map out school breaks and stuff. You can put in any events that you can come up with. Specific program launches that are happening that you can put in there too. So what this does, you guys, is this gives you like a rough draft, right? It gives you sort of this layout, okay? Because then like what's coming. And so you can start to like think ahead of like what you're going to be wanting to invite to and when you're going to want to be talking about certain things. Okay. So typically, what I do from a month to month basis is that I have my boot camp start in the middle of the month, right? So by the second week of every month, my boot camp enrollment is open, aka or closing, right? And then I just set a date. I set a date. So for example, for January, my boot camp's gonna be starting January 6th, right? And then for February, I might already be looking to say like, all right, my boot camp's gonna start February 10th. March, so on and so forth. And I can then again block out when I'm going to have, pre-plan when I'm going to have my boot camp starting. So I know going into each month that I'm inviting to my boot camp, right? I'm enrolling into my boot camps those first couple weeks of every single month. Those second, third, fourth weeks, tail end of those, that's when I'm going to start thinking and, planning out, all right, am I going to host a sneak peek? When will I want to host it in January? When will I want to host it, at the end, that weekend, or I'm going to want to do like a one, like you don't have to have it all nitty gritty detailed, figure out, but you can put in there like, I should run a sneak peek this week. And depending on how much you want to recruit this year, how big your goals are, right? Then you're going to maybe want to run a sneak peek twice a month, right? Or you're going to want to be really making sure you're talking about coaching like we talked about in our call the other day, talking about coaching, not just in those last 2 weeks in the month, but talking about coaching every single week, talking about coaching on your stories every single day, breadcrumbing, right? Making those coaching jabs. So this is kind of like what I did, and this is what I recommend that you do. Okay. So how this breaks down further. So you guys probably know or remember, or hope you do, every single month I put out my marketing calendar. This is literally what I want you guys to do for yourself, right? So if you remember, or if you've looked at my marketing calendar, I do this because I'm showing you what my plans are and what I have on my radar, so that way that you can also know what's coming, have on your radar. But what I want you to do is I want you to start anticipating and doing this for yourself, okay? Because monkey see, monkey do. Like, you are the CEO of your own business. You are leading your pack, your team. I don't know, I'm using all these weird analogies, but you are the boss, right? So you shouldn't be waiting for me to put out a marketing calendar. You should already be doing, thinking, planning to do this for yourself, okay? So this is how this breaks down for month to month. And I created this in Canva. And so I have my individual goals, team goals, and then other things, right? So I know something I left out here is like, we have Super Saturday, right? It's January. We're going to have a Super Saturday. I know that that is going to be the second weekend of the month, second Saturday of the month. So I forgot to put that in there. So that's missing, but that would be something I would put under other. But my individual goals, always, 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 I'm going to hit Success Club 10 plus. Like, that's always my goal. You know, tracking my business. So writing out my invites is something I do every single day. Hitting Emerald. So that's my goal, is to advance new emeralds every single month. Be more specific. I usually try to be more specific with goals like that, with how many emeralds I'm looking to advance. That's typically something I write out in my planner, my Rise Up planner. That's something that I kind of take note of. But just for this example, you know, my goal is to advance emeralds every month, right? Help people advance their business. And creating new emeralds. So what I mean by hitting emerald basically is that I'm doing that myself by basically hitting Success Club. So I'm bringing on new people. I'm creating a new emerald every month, right? But creating new emeralds, through my coach mentorship, talking to people, current customers, about wanting to get started with coaching, if they're interested in the discount, all those things. All of that counts towards me helping people advance their business, right? And then obviously always having 90 PV on Home Direct in my business center. I'm shooting for 500 PV a month, every month in my business center. So you guys, we talked about that way back. PV volume, aka having people being consistent with their purchases, bringing on new customers, all of that helps contribute to your personal volume. And then focusing on my own journey, right? So always coming back to, I can't be the best leader. I won't get the best results. I won't feel the best that I can. I won't show up well in my business if I'm not focusing on my own journey. And then team goals. So like I said, advancing to new diamonds. This is something that, when I say I would, it's like the concept, aim high, you'll land high, right? So I like to go into every month with the bar aimed high, right? Because I know that if I have the bar high, then I'm always going to be running faster, right? I'm always going to be pushing harder. And that's going to become my new norm, right? Pushing the limit is always going to be like my normal, right? And the more that I can get comfortable with pushing myself, then the more and more and more that my bar is going to raise, and I'm going to be able to push myself even more, right? So going for 100 lives as a team, like that's something that totally can happen as our team grows and grows. Helping working coaches hit Success Club 6+, shoot for more than just the bare minimum. Shooting for elite, that's a team goal. So I have that there. We have our team workouts every Saturday. National Wake Up Call, a little reminder in there because I can't fit it all on my calendar. But you see, I have team call. I have our getting started right call. I have my push to emerald call. Bar blend lunch is happening on Friday the 3rd of January. So my boot camp is starting January 6th. You can see those first 2 weeks I'm always inviting to my boot camp. And then I sort of make this transition to where my invites include that little coaching plug, right? I ask if they're interested in the boot camp and or coaching, right? That's literally all I do, right? But I also am talking about coaching even more those last, that second half of the month. I'm usually having more coaching call to action posts, right? Those are the times that I would be running like a sneak peek. Okay. So this is a great way to not only just keep yourself like organized, but also to then, again, as you go into each week, ahead of time, like what's coming, right? So you can already get in the mindset of what you want to be talking about or what you're going to be talking about, like on top of daily life and things that are happening in your journey and stuff like that in your life. In your business what's going on and how you can then relate that into your daily actions, postings, etc. Okay, so purposeful and strategic. That's what we're aiming for. So how you can break this down, okay? So this is a great idea. Another great idea for you to do is to help you break down these anchor posts, right? So when it comes to the business opportunity, basically I want you to think about the things that attract you to coaching, right? Things that have, been and had an impact on your life, things that excite you. Like, are you someone that loves recognition? Do you love swag? Are you someone that was always intrigued or, watching from the sidelines of people going on trips, going to summit, things like that? That was definitely me. So things that stand out for me with coaching and my business, friendships, right? Friendships that I've made, the experiences I've had with people, my tribe, them growing and building, that's a big one, right? Having a job I'm passionate about, that also helps me create financial freedom. That's huge for me because I talk a lot, in reference to nursing. And when I was working as a nurse, that was a lot of my biggest struggle, was that I just felt like I was basically working to earn a paycheck at the end of the day. I didn't enjoy the sacrifices I had to make for my job. And now I feel like I'm able to serve and I'm able to give back and help people and make an impact in the health industry in a different way that also gives me a paycheck, right? Extra accountability. Like all day long do I talk about the fact that if I weren't for coaching, there's so many times that, like this is my extra layer of accountability. That was another huge reason why I personally started coaching, was for that extra accountability within my own journey, right? So talking about that time freedom, big one. That's something that I always craved. Again, going back to, I can tie in if I'm talking about nursing, then to now, talking about like my now and just this phase of life I'm going in. Two, I talk about that. Success Club trips in general, things that I've earned, things that I'm looking forward to. Being able to travel is something that I always wanted to be able to do, but I never really could because of time off, money, all of that jazz, being in too much debt. So the fact that I'm earning trips that allow me like to get paid to travel, that's huge, right? So when those things come up, talking about those, plugging, even if you haven't been on a Success Club trip, the fact that that's something you're working towards, or if one of us, someone on the team earns the trip, that's something you can talk about, you guys. Like, again, we're a team. And like, just because you haven't earned it yet doesn't mean you won't. But if it's something that matters to you and something that is intriguing to you, then it's likely going to be intriguing to your audience, right? Your people. Beachbody swag, so stuff we earn, stuff we, get for recognition. Being a work at home dog mom turned real mom someday. Like, again, that all kind of comes back to like my lifestyle and just the change of my lifestyle and what this vision for my life that I've been working towards and continue to work towards, and, paychecks. So Thursdays, right? So for me, like getting my nails done, noting how much I'm putting to, being able to pay off bills that week, or to pay, be able to buy groceries and put a little bit of extra towards my, debt that week or whatever. How it doesn't have to be monetary. It doesn't have, you don't have to talk about the actual number. And honestly, like money is honestly one of the last things I really talk about. I always talk about my debt, but I don't ever really talk about the financial gain of what I do as a coach. But that's so powerful, right? You don't have to. My point is that you don't have to actually ever express how much you actually are earning as a coach. But every little bit, like, how is it making an impact? Whether it's small right now in your life, it's still something that could be so big for somebody else, right? And it probably is in your, in your world right now where you're at. It's helping, right? It's helping in some way. So talking about that, sharing those stories, are super great little plugs. Okay. So then what I want you to do, and this is something I do, is you repurpose, guys. You repurpose what worked and you scrap what doesn't. This is just the mindset you want to get in. This is why you want to try things. And if it fails, it fails. Who cares? Scrap it, right? Move on and try something different. This is literally like just the pattern of it all, is that you get in the habit of doing and trying and taking action and becoming a master reflector, right? If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, right? So perfect examples of this are like, running a monthly boot camp, a new monthly boot camp every month, or say, like, when I first started as a coach, I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really know how to run a really good boot camp. I struggled a lot in being with like knowing like what should I use, the Beachbody Challenge group guide? Should I use something else? Should I make it up for myself on the fly? Stuff like that. Like I, made up these names, like themes for my groups and stuff like that. I just tried things, right? I tried to, think about what was important to me in my journey. And then I created groups, challenge groups around that month to month. But as I went on, I realized that doing the month to month groups was not allowing me to build any traction with my people. It wasn't allowing me to build momentum within my boot camp. So I switched over to ongoing, and then so on and so forth. Like, that's just one example within my business of how I've had to learn trial and error of what works for me best with my business, with my people, right? I know that for me personally, I hate having to start and restart something. I don't want to have to, constantly be trying to get in to the next boot camp if I'm, a consistent, member of a team, right? Or consistent, like with my own journey. I want to just be a part of the community and go on and so forth. Trying posts that didn't work. Look, using your insights, using that, if you have a business profile, going into your insights, looking at posts that, really resonated with people. Did it get a lot of engagement? Did it get a lot of likes? Things like that. And you guys repurpose it. right? Nobody's going to remember that that post you posted, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever, last year, that, had really great content, had a really great message and delivery. Repurpose it a little bit and use it now. Just get a new picture for it, right? Things that didn't work, don't repeat it, right? You never know if you don't try, right? And there's so many times it's so easy to go to the mindset like, oh my God, I'm having, this month it's terrible. Like my engagement's down. No, I'm not getting a lot of likes on this stuff. Part of that too, you guys, is like the more you're in this, the more the longer you're a coach, the more you're going to get to recognize that there is a pattern to it all. You're going to start to recognize the period times of the year that, the dips, the times that people are more apt to give certain excuses, the times of the year, like especially as we age and we go into these new, age groups, right? So I'm of the age where a lot of my people are becoming moms, they're dealing with school-age children. So I have to be mindful of the time of year and school stuff and when breaks are happening, all that stuff, because that's a lot of what I, as far as like the year goes, the flow, that I understand that I'm going to have to work this much harder in, like, say September or, now November, December, because people are going to be getting frugal about the holidays, right? So it's not about changing the goal, right? You're not ever changing the goal, you guys. You are simply just adjusting the plan as you go along. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the more in the habit you get of doing this, the more in the habit you get of taking action and, doing that reflection piece, the more you're gonna, and you keep doing that, watch, rinse, repeat. That's when you're gonna start to recognize patterns. That's when you're gonna start to build confidence, right? Going back to the National Wake Up Call, like she said, the more you get comfortable with being uncomfortable, the easier everything is going to get, right? We still have to white knuckle it. Like I still white knuckle it through, sometimes for team calls, sometimes for sneak peeks. Like I still white knuckle, you guys. Every time I have to go live, I'm still nervous. Like that never quite goes away. But every time I do something that scares me a little bit, you guys, I feel stronger after it, right? I feel more confident, even though going into it, I know that I might get a little nervous or like that's a good feeling to me. I know that it's a good sign, right? Because I know that it means I'm growing and I'm pushing myself, right? So take action, be accountable, right? So having those goals, keeping track of everything, being mindful of where you're at, doing those weekly, mid-month gut checks, right? I love to call these gut checks because, like, guys, if it's not working, it's not working. Like, being mindful of things where you're, like, being mindful of where you're at, where you're stuck, so you can start taking action faster, right? Reevaluating, okay? So, like I said, you can always change the plan, but don't change the goal. I think that's too often what we do that, or, especially as a new coach, this is what is so easy to do. But I'm telling you, this is what's going to make or break you, right? Going forward, is that you get in the habit of learning that being uncomfortable, feeling stuck, that's normal. Okay. But the more that you can be proactive, creating these plans, thinking farther out, thinking ahead, right? This is what's going to help you. It's going to help you build confidence. It's going to help you in every area of your business, because you're going to start acting like a boss. You're going to start acting like a business owner, and you're going to be handling your, vital behaviors, your daily actions like a business owner. Okay. All right. And that's it. So questions. Does anybody have any questions? If you do, just unmute yourself. I will tell you that we are going to be having our vision party in our next call. So on Monday, December 30th, we're going to be doing our vision, creating our vision boards. But what I really challenge you to do, and then, after the holiday going into the weekend, is I want you all to map out 2020. Okay. I want you to do, Google. That's all I did was Google 2020 monthly calendar or something like that. Just to give yourself a rough draft. If you don't have a planner, get yourself one. I highly suggest the Rise Up Planner, the Making Chic Happen marketing planner. I know is available on Amazon. I haven't looked it up yet. I've been thinking about that one for the new year, but I love the Rise Up Planner because that will actually help you, allow you to, one, have a place for your vision, allow you to do like your year at a glance, but then also your months to months at a glance, and then breaks it down for your week to week. So it will allow you to break down your weekly goals. So if you, for example, that marketing plan I showed you guys, that's where I would put like, all right, this week, my goal is to advance 2 emeralds, right? My goal is Success Club, hit Success Club 6. Or, I'm, aiming for, what's my monthly goal? Oh, well, my monthly goal is I want to create a new diamond. My monthly goal is I want to earn 5 figures, right? A week. Or, my yearly goal is I want to be an elite coach. And so it allows you to keep everything fresh in your mind. Allows it to, to keep you close to the fire, and then also gives you a chance to then map out your week. And that's where you can even start to like brainstorm like those post ideas that we talked about before, right? So again, I know this is like, it seems like a lot of work at a glance, but it honestly like doesn't take that long to do. And once you do it, you will feel so much better. You will feel so much more in control of what's going to be happening of your business and where you're going. And you're going to feel this sense of empowerment, right? And you're going to have that structure going forward that you can, build off of. And like I said, I don't ever want you to change your goal. Like my goal of elite is still there. I'm not changing the goal. I'm changing the plan, right? That shit happens, things happen. And that's life and that's business, right? But I'm not going to change my goal, right? I'm going to keep my goal, and I'm actually going to up the ante of certain things. I'm going to restructure my plan, right? I'm going to change up what I'm going to be doing as far as taking action going forward. So that's what I want you guys to do. I hope this was helpful. I am really excited. I hope that you guys will share this along. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. But like I said, there's tons of resources. If you want me to share the link to my Canva calendar for that marketing plan, I can do that. I'll post that in the team page for you guys. But I hope you guys have a good night. Bye.